I'm Maria, and this is the Agile State of Mind. Welcome! Today, we're going to talk onboarding, specifically company onboarding. Was your onboarding an awesome experience, or rather a confusing disaster? Did you feel that somebody has a plan for you? Or did you find yourself in a chaos, wondering if anyone was actually informed about you joining the company? Or maybe you felt overwhelmed by the number of things they wanted to pass on to you and ended up even more stressed because you didn't remember much. Onboarding requires a plan and a balance. Some companies overdo it and others underdo it. Today, I'm going to tell you what's important in onboarding to bring the person up to speed, make the information stick, and keep their enthusiasm, even if the company operates in remote. Believe me, feeling forever alone on the new journey is no fun. Stay tuned, as this is the first episode of the series of onboarding. Today, we will cover the general company onboarding. In the next episode, we will explore role-specific onboarding. And lastly, we'll talk about how to be a great buddy and why it's important. Today, it's all about company onboarding. Let's go! So first and foremost, don't carp their enthusiasm. I recently changed jobs myself, so this topic is fresh for me. And I started to wonder how to make the onboarding experience nice and memorable for the new employee. People usually come very excited to start a new challenge, and there is also quite a lot of stress involved. It's a huge change in the end. New people, new processes, and sometimes new ways of doing the same old thing. And you know none of it. You need to start learning. That's why it's so important to start on the right foot. As a manager of the company, you don't want to extinguish this fire of excitement by hoping the new joiner will learn the ropes on their own. Hi, this is your laptop. Go! Or sending a ton of documentation. Here's what you need to learn. After all the attention a company is putting in the recruitment process that lasts weeks, the onboarding is key to keep the enthusiasm of the new joiner and help them ramp up efficiently. That's a great value for us at the company. And if this is done in a thoughtful manner, it's a win-win. So let's start from the first day. The experience starts even before the person joins the company. The people and IT department start contacting the person about the first day and where to ship them the working tools. The more clarity on how this will be done and what we can expect on our first day, the better. We decrease the stress level of the new joiner. I love it when I receive all the introductory meetings on my private calendar before my first day, and this way I know what to expect. There's also another factor, the location. It's one thing if you start in an office, there are other people and somebody can take you out for a coffee. And it's another thing if you're starting remotely. It feels very lonely. Apart from the scheduled meetings and a chat with your manager who you'd normally previously met during the recruitment process, there's no other interactions with people during your first days. You're not even on the Slack channels. It might feel forever alone. That's why it's important to inform the newcomer what will happen in the first week and schedule some introductory meetings so they can rest assured there's a plan for them. And I know what you might be thinking right now. Oh my God, this process is an overkill. It's like creating a new project altogether. Right? Worry not. Let me make it simple for you. So on one hand, we want the newcomer to feel welcomed and that somebody has a plan for them. But on the other hand, we don't want to die in the intent. I think we can find something very close to a silver bullet for this. How? By getting a system. If you don't have a system in place, start with a checklist. Easy, isn't it? You would typically update it with every new joiner that comes and gives their feedback, and also with any change in the processes of the company. Make it simple. Create it in Jira, in a wiki, or even in a spreadsheet. You just need a list. And bear in mind there are at least two levels of onboarding. One is the general onboarding for the company, and second one is the role-specific onboarding. That checklist can go forever. That's why I will talk about that one in this video here. Let's talk about the general one today. Okay, what should be there on this simple company checklist? 1. Company values, vision, and how we operate. We might want to start with the company culture and the vision because this is what distinguishes us from other companies. 2. Company strategy, how we do business, how the company vision translates into how we do business. This is typically driven by sales, operations, marketing, or product and can be combined with the first session. 3. Company processes, and that's about the people department. Side note, I refer to HR as people because I don't like to call people resources. We have people department, IT department, and also agile people to pass on how we do stuff. People usually explain how we take vacations, what do we do in case we're sick, any legal information that we need to know. IT cares about the security and all the access. And about the agile part, I can't stress enough the importance of having people understand and being on one page when it comes to common terminology and the processes. When you ask someone, what is a sprint? And they tell you it's a release, you understand the need to have a common language. This is typically done by Scrum Master or Agile Coach. 4. Super important, the expectations and the goals for the new joiner. This is done by the manager. The best way I found so far was this simple 30, 60, 90. What are the expectations for 30, 60, and 90 days for the newcomer? This gives us a map, a perfect plan that we can follow and feel at ease with what's expected, and at any point we can check if we are actually meeting the expectations. Because, as I said before, the expectations and the checklist for the role-specific onboarding is so big, I will talk about it in the next video. 5. Can be on the checklist, but it's like a bit of a side note. Hold people accountable. So if you start holding people accountable from the start and making micro corrections on the way, you're set for a greater success. People understand there are rules. It's not okay to break them. For example, if you see that people are missing from an all hands or they don't attend a daily in their team, you can say that there are meetings that are mandatory and they have to attend them. Keep in mind to explain the why of the thing. 6. Name a buddy. This topic is also a huge topic that I will talk in the third video, but just to give you a short summary, it's great to have a buddy for various reasons. One of them is the manager can delegate part of the work to a peer, a colleague of the new joiner. A buddy is a guide for the new joiner to explain the role-specific details. They will show them the code per program with them, take them for a coffee if they're in the office, show them the ropes and the tricks. And second, for the new joiner, it's so much easier to know that there is somebody who will attend to their questions, who they can bother basically and interrupt because that's their job. And 7, meet the leadership. I've been to some companies that created a meeting. It could be once a month where the executive team meets the new joiners. The best way I've seen this done was in OutSystems, where I had the pleasure to MC those meetings. It was a meeting where the CTO was meeting the new joiners, and the CTO was inviting some of the other VPs and senior management team. It wasn't about giving a speech. It was about actually getting to know each one of them. So there was a round where everybody got to say who they are, what they do, and how they end up here. I find it very thoughtful, very respectful towards new people. The new joiners had an opportunity to ask questions and meet the exec team that is not so easily reachable. And I know firsthand that was the highlight of each person's onboarding. Apart from all the meetings we need to do for the onboarding, an increasing number of companies start creating great documentation about the culture, the processes, and their products. Because one is usually quite overwhelmed by all the information we're getting on the first days or weeks. So getting some links to read or watch later on helps them pace the learning and better understand the new concept. Talking about the pace, it's quite tricky as a new joiner to figure out the pace at a new job. So any help with both pacing and focus is gold. And I got 2 very handy tools to help me do that for my new job. One was a spreadsheet with a plan for me from my manager. Again, I can't stress enough the importance of knowing what's the plan, expectation, and what are the goals for my first months at work. This again will be explained further in the next video. And the second tool that I loved was an Onboarder tool. I was getting a personalized, both directed to me and company branded emails to my private mailbox every day, even before I joined the company, with some information about company processes, tools, Slack etiquette, links to trainings, and some interesting company videos on YouTube. Both of them were a great way to get some additional info in an asynchronous manner. It helped me pace the learning, and I much appreciated that somebody had a plan for me. And last but not least, before we go, there's one interesting concept which I call the New Joiners Club that I think we could explore a little bit better. I once worked in a company where we didn't have people department in Barcelona office, so basically the onboarding fell on Scrum Masters. Myself with other colleague were basically designing this process for everyone. So we had a problem. The new joiners were starting every week, and it was just too much overhead for us to do all the process that we were talking about every week. So we negotiated with the recruitment team that the new joiners will join only twice a month. For us, it was a little bit less overhead, and there was a bigger group of new joiners to welcome. And this is where I'm getting at now. So if you have more than just one or two persons, you can create a team from them. It helped creating connections between them, because in the end, as a new joiner, you first belong to a team of the new joiners. You are all equally lost and have a lot of questions. And what's more, this bunch usually is made up of people that will join different parts of the company, and usually in the day-to-day work, they might not interact so much. Schedule the introductory meetings with all of them and schedule an introductory daily stand-up. Especially if you are in a remote, this will give the people feeling that they belong to a team. There are other people they can talk to. There is somebody that will answer their questions. Think about creating a Slack channel or a Teams channel for them with some people that can answer their questions. This way they might feel a little bit more at ease to ask all these questions, and you get a lot of information to improve your checklist and your process. And that's all for today. Before we go, remember to start with a simple checklist and keep improving it and updating it with every new joiner that comes. Ask for feedback, and in no time, your simple checklist will evolve into a full-fledged onboarding process that's both efficient and fun. And remember to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below your biggest takeaways from this episode. And stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.